On today's show, fun tales of wild Minnesota nutrition. Up first, some of our state's best spring fishing made that much sweeter by an outdoor secret.
Ramps.
Discover the taste of wild ramps. We also visit a secret morel mushroom honey hole made public in the name of finding a cure for Alzheimer's. And Laura gets wild in the kitchen with a wild game recipe.
Minnesota Bound, presented by Connecticut Water Treatment Systems.
Hi everybody, Bill, Millie, and I welcome you to a special Minnesota Bound from the Minnesota Landscape Arboretum.
Yeah, we're in here escaping the snow and cold. I love it.
Same here.
You know, this time of year I normally dedicate much of my time to two endeavors, turkey hunting and trout fishing, and both take us into the woods.
And that's the exact location where you can discover one of Minnesota's best spring offerings, and it certainly will take care of any craving you may have.
Eternal, like spring, is the trickle of Minnesota's trout streams. Let's fish. Every April, I find myself knee-deep in bitingly cold water.
Oh, that was a tap.
A fly rod, all I need.
Call this cocklebur run. Oh, nice fish. Nice fish. Oh my goodness. You want to talk about Minnesota trout? There he goes. Too bad. Oh, another dandy.
Minnesota's driftless trout region consists of more than 700 miles of this. And I wish to explore every mile.
Wow, what a dandy. Another treat in these woods this time of year. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Wild ramps. The forest floor is literally covered in them. And these are a bit of a spring delicacy. Ramps.
A plant native to Minnesota, sometimes called a wild leek.
I'm gonna go down to the stream and wash all this stuff off.
Almost a mix between onion and garlic.
Those look really good. 'Tis the season. Wild ramps and trout. It's kind of like a spring tradition. I'm gonna steal Laura's job. I'm gonna show you what I cook. What's awesome, both the bulbs and the green leaves are edible. Ow. Just kidding.
A little lunch recipe after my fish and forage.
Wild ramps in. For the cheese sauce, we're gonna make a little Parmesan, white wine, and cream. Simple, but amazing. And I would say those are tender.
This only takes about 30 minutes to prep
Eat your heart out, Chef Jim.
and cook.
One for the saucepan. Now we're getting into the good stuff. A little cream, A little more cream. And this is getting close. Favorite part. It is a little rich. This is the kind of food that'll put you to sleep in camp.
Final step, fry up the fish.
Looking pretty good. A little red pepper.
And I'm ready to eat.
I always know that in those fancy cooking shows, they have to make it look all pretty.
So I try and do the same.
Here we go. Lunch in the woods.
Wild ramp pasta topped with fresh trout.
That's obviously for photographer Pete.
A simple recipe of spring flavor.
It's just good. Wow.
An offering born of this environment. A place so dear to our hearts and our bellies.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Connecticut Water Treatment Systems, Star Bank, White Bear Lake Superstore, and by your boat club.
Up next, one local Minnesotan does the unheard of and gives away her secret morel hunting hotspot, all in honor of her mother and her memory. When the word gets out about where you can find morel mushrooms, you guessed it, a crowd quickly forms. This crowd, however, is here for mushrooms and more.
All right, everybody, it is 12:30. Woo! I can't believe it. This is the 8th year of the Morels of Memories Mushroom Hunt and Alzheimer's fundraiser.
Yes, a hunt for morel mushrooms in honor of a special memory.
And 2011 was just a very, very difficult year for us when our mother was diagnosed with younger onset Alzheimer's. She was 49 years old at the time.
Meet Courtney Iverson, the founders of this popular mushroom moment.
Morels of Memories is all about raising funds for a cure for Alzheimer's disease. My mother was impacted, diagnosed at the age of 49 with the disease, and it was very, very difficult. And understanding that the disease is a terminal disease.
A disease with no cure, Courtney thought of a unique way to contribute to the Cure Alzheimer's Fund.
Hey, this would be a great fundraising opportunity if I gave up my honey hole, which this was my family farm. So the Vanderlinde family has been here for at least 130 years. I knew where my honey hole was on the property, but obviously if there's some on my property, there's also likely some on my neighbor's property.
It might be called Morels of Memories, but it's more than a casual day of foraging.
Educational competition, I like to call it, where guides that know how to identify morels and participants go out to neighboring properties where they find the first, largest, and most morels.
It's fair to ask, why a fundraising event using morels?
Just understanding that there was this cult following essentially for them. But also, if you learn how to hunt them yourselves, then you don't have to pay $80 a pound for them at the co-op.
Once the hotspot was out, morel lovers eventually showed up by the hundreds.
The first year of this event, we raised about $2,100. That's about 8 years ago. And there was maybe 25 people that showed up. And today, we have about 240 participants here, probably about 40 children, and about 40 volunteers.
Remember, you're competing for the first morel found, the most morels found, and the largest morel found. And there's also a prize for the winner that comes back with the most ticks.
I have been looking and looking for weeks in my area, but they don't have them. But you guys do. Amazing. I'm shaking. The adrenaline is wonderful.
Veteran forager Chick of the Woods Jamie Rockney also volunteered her help to morel hunting beginners.
You just need some moisture and a little bit of heat. That one looks like an American elm, this one that's still alive.
How do I pick them, Jamie? Just reach down?
Yep, you can pluck it, or you can like kind of twist it and pop it off like that.
Is that
Yep,
okay?
That's totally fine. Dirt at the bottom saves a little.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. I never thought I'd find a morel.
Snip this at the base. Okay, and I'm gonna checking to make sure it's hollow so that it's a real morel mushroom.
So, how far will morel hunters travel in their search?
This is our first year doing it, but yeah, my father passed away last year with, died of Alzheimer's, so it's a good cause.
The power of the morel mushroom is impressive, and so is Courtney's passion in honor of her mother.
Giving up my honey hole was totally worth it, and I'd do it again. We're gonna hunt morel mushrooms until there is a cure.
Still to come, a parasitic treat just hanging out in our woods. But first, Laura's in the kitchen with another tasty Italian recipe.
Closed captioning provided by Voyager Lodge and Houseboats.
Today we're getting wild in the kitchen with Chef Jim Kimberg, executive chef at Casetta's, and we're hanging out in Louie's restaurant today. So I'm guessing by the looks of the prosciutto there, we're making some sort of Italian dish.
Of course, it's got to be Italian.
What are we making?
We've got a wild turkey saltimbocca we're going to be preparing today.
Saltimbocca.
Yeah, it's going to be delicious.
All right, let's get started.
All right. So we've got this nice wild turkey breast here, and we're going to make some little cutlets, and we're going to pound them thin. We're going for about 2-ounce cutlets. I'm cutting down across the grain.
It is the caveman size tenderizer. So we want these pretty thin.
Yes.
Just like that?
You're looking great. Those look great. You don't want to destroy it, but you do want to pound it nice and thin. And if you want to grab the minced garlic, and let's just rub a little bit of that garlic oil into each breast.
Like that?
Yeah, looking good. Just going to do a little sprinkle of sage on top as well.
It's time for the prosciutto.
You want to lay one piece of prosciutto down flat for me?
That's
looking good.
So it's kind of like a half wrap, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Time for the frying pan?
Time for the frying pan. So we're going to get started. We've got our cutlets wrapped in prosciutto over there.
We do.
And I've got some seasoned flour here. Now, if you want to just kind of pat that in the seasoned flour, and on both sides, trying to keep in that nice cutlet shape. We're going to go sage leaf down first.
Okay, that's an important part.
There you go.
Here we are.
So let's get the other 3 in there as quick as possible.
And what's in our flour mix here? Just flour, salt, and pepper, or?
Pretty much.
Okay.
You got it. That's our secret. All right, so you can see they're starting to crisp up a little bit right now, getting some color on them. This is a perfect time. We're going to add a couple more sage leaves. And we've also got some slivered garlic here that we've poached in olive oil, so they're kind of very gently cooked.
Wow.
Turkey's cooking through. Prosciutto's nice and golden brown. And then we're going to finish our pan sauce.
Beautiful.
So to make our pan sauce, we're going to add about 2 ounces of white wine to that same pan, and just a couple of sage leaves to really bump up that sage flavor in there. We're going to go right over our turkey.
Beautiful. Now this is a way you can impress your friends with some wild game.
Definitely. We'll finish this off with a little bit of color, some broccoli rabe. Look at that.
All right, it's time for taste testing.
Let's go for it.
I'm excited about this one. I'm a garlic lover.
Get in there. Get some of that sauce.
All right, wild turkey saltimbocca.
Got it.
Here we go. Oh yeah. That is delicious.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Flow Docks and Lifts, Coors Light, And by Totem Resorts, the premier destination for world-class fishing.
Some say that chaga is pretty good for your health.
It sure is, and it's also been really good for business.
Yeah, Travis Frank met two men trying to make a run at it full time.
At the self-proclaimed home of Bigfoot, signs and statues welcome tourists to the town of Reamer. Population 370. Come winter, life here freezes to a crawl, except at Ice Cube Enterprises. Inside, business heats up thanks to a fungus called chaga. Nicknamed the medicinal mushroom, people can't get enough of it.
Chaga is a mushroom that grows on birch trees. Highly medicinal, very high in antioxidants. It is going to get noisy in here.
In his one-room workshop, golden nuggets grind to grounds. Shane Dugan prepares chaga for buyers he'll never meet.
See, a lot of places in Europe, Holland is very popular, France, even Australia, Singapore, pretty much global, and through our store on Main Street.
Shane and his business partner Ted Frick sold their first bag of chaga back in 2011.
I don't think we ever have a down day. It's just nuts.
But it's never been about money.
If we make $500 a month each, we're doing good. It's because we believe in the product.
And its ability to help others. To better understand chaga, they take me to find it.
You have to have two things. You got to have birch trees and you got to have cold climate. What's today? I think we zoomed up to 2 degrees. One of 10,000 birch trees that actually has chaga on it.
It'll stick out from a tree like this almost. It'll be almost the color of my gloves, and the inside will be an orangish color.
In a sea of white birch, we scan for a black growth.
There it is. There's our little mushroom. When you find it, you're going, oh no, now the work begins.
It's got all the things we're looking for. The nice dark black crust and the burnt orange color of the core flesh.
It's like gold growing out here in the forest.
Yeah.
Oh, fill the pouch,
In the bag she goes.
Chaga spores enter birch trees through wounds. Slowly, the mushroom grows.
20 to 25 years before it falls off the tree. We try to get there between year 10 and 17.
The birch tree is a healing tree. It's been considered sacred by the natives for many, many years.
There's a lot of hype about the product, but traditionally what it is an immune system stabilizer. It just makes your body work better. People who purchase from us use it for high blood pressure. It reduces high cholesterol. It's great for arthritis.
It's safe. I believe it's safe. I wouldn't make it if I thought it's just not worth someone getting sick. The good news is, for all the guys out there, it keeps you regular, and there's nothing wrong with being regular.
Call me the Chaga Master.
The Chaga Master.
Look at that mammoth growth. That's a big enough chunk, right?
Yeah, that's almost that. This has the potential of comedic relief. There she be. That's what
chunk.
you're looking for. Nice.
I'll send you the bill for Travis's tree services.
You find it, you chop it up, you dry it, then we grind it up.
All that for a cup of tea.
We ended up with cinnamon, clove, and honey.
Chaga cheers.
Chaga cheers.
That's good. That's really good.
It's delicious.
In this tourist town, it's clear. Bigfoot takes second to a creature growing for all to see.
Okay, are you into chaga?
I am. I've had chaga, lion's mane. They're all known as adaptogens, and they're so good for your health.
You'll have to teach me.
I will.
Well, that about does it for the three of us. We certainly hope we'll see you back here next week.
In the meantime, remember, introduce a kid to the great outdoors.
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433.